Today, our world is facing enormous challenges. We have an urgent need to find innovative solutions to critical problems. Those problems begin at the most fundamental level. We have only one planet Earth, but according to some studies, we're using it like we have 1.5. And if everyone lived like a U.S. citizen, we'd need 4 Earths. The result of this way of life is changing our climate, and the cost is just beginning to become clear. Extreme weather, rising sea levels, and vanishing habitat.
More than 660 million people don't have access to clean water. Disease from that water kills more people than all forms of violence, including war. And what about food? How do we feed a growing population and do it in a way that provides the nutrition needed, meets the needs of farmers and workers, and reduces the environmental impact of agriculture? And the list is longer. Economic inequality, social unrest, access to education, housing, an increasingly urban population, and infectious disease.
And there's no denying it. Business is part of the problem. It's a contributor to every one of these problems. And there's also no denying that business can be part of the solution. We've arrived at an interesting time for business and society. On the one hand, there is so much that is flawed and needs to change. On the other, there is so much that is encouraging and needs to grow. In corporate philanthropy, there is a new energy and creativity happening, and U.S. companies donated almost $19 billion last year, but that's less than 5% of total giving in the U.S.
The good news is companies are more transparent about their impacts. About 3/4 of the largest 250 companies now publish a sustainability report, and they use a single global standard, the Global Reporting Initiative. But those reports are not always clear, and clearly not enough investors and consumers are reading them. The UN Sustainable Development Goals have the potential to align corporate investment in society with a common set of global priorities, but too few companies are really using them as a tool.
So the concept of corporate social responsibility is more integrated into business than ever before. But we're a long way from declaring victory, and the best companies have understood that. They're seeing social needs as business opportunities and are moving beyond CSR to co-create innovations that build economic and social value. We are also seeing that the lines between sectors are blurring, and it will take a partnership between business, government, and civil society to make sustainable gains. No business thrives in an unhealthy society. And all of this is what we'll explore, wrestle with, learn about, and apply together in this course. This course takes you inside the realities of what it really means for business to create economic and social value. What's real? What's hype? What's working? What's not? You will hear from the executives who've led social innovation initiatives in leading brands. You'll benefit from their real-world knowledge and understand how the practical tools they used can help you develop social innovation efforts at your company. And you'll have the chance to interact with these executives.
In week 1, you'll learn how the concept of corporate social responsibility has evolved. We'll map out the different ways business has tried and failed to find the balance between business and social needs. We'll review the essential role of purpose and values. You'll learn why it's essential and how leading companies do more than put words on paper. They actually transform those words into concrete steps and actions that change their business. And anytime you challenge assumptions about the role of business in society, you bump up against some difficult questions. To try and answer those questions thoughtfully, it's important to consider multiple perspectives. So we'll consider the moral perspective of what this all means. And we'll finish up week 1 and every week by connecting it all to the real world. You'll hear from the managers at leading companies about how they've addressed the issues of the week, an unvarnished version of what it's really like to deliver on the promise of these ideas inside their companies. And second, you'll apply it all to your individual circumstance. If you're working in an organization, you'll access that week's topics inside your company. If you're not with an organization or you'd prefer to look outside, you'll pick a reference company, one you can follow throughout the course.
In week 2, we'll learn the management frameworks companies have adopted to address the scope of issues. You'll hear how executives at major companies applied these frameworks. One of the biggest challenges for a manager leading a social innovation effort is strategy. How do you prioritize all the social and environmental issues your business impacts? We'll work the tools and processes that have emerged as best practice to answer this question.
And for week 3, any corporate social innovation effort means acting in new and different ways, acting as an entrepreneur. In week 3, we'll introduce you to Babson's entrepreneurial thought and action methodology to learn how successful entrepreneurs take effective action in an unpredictable and complex world. Corporate social innovation efforts are also organizational change efforts. We'll learn firsthand from the experience of business leaders who have developed these kinds of initiatives inside their organizational structures on a global level.
And in week 4, we focus on how it all comes together and gets communicated across the organization to investors, to customers, and to key stakeholders. So, thank you for joining us in the class. It's an exciting time for the idea that a healthy business and a healthy society are absolutely linked, and this link is an enormous opportunity for leaders to create new levels of economic and social value. So, let's get started.